Okay, so picking back up with the traditional versus modern role of the salesperson, um, I'm going to focus on the modern professional salesperson because that's what we are going to practice. And pretty much the opposite would be the traditional salesperson. So I'm not going to read all of these to you, but a couple of them I am going to further explain what they mean. Um, so, customer relationship oriented, I explained on the prior slide, where we know we're going to uncover and satisfy customer needs. Two-way communication. So, we're both going to be talking. We're selling solutions. So, what is a solution? Should be able to answer a benefit. We want long term relationships, follow up, which we'll talk about later, works with a company team. So that was also what I just talked about, interfunctional coordination, and then a very collaborative information, a partnership. This is not in your book, um, but there are types of salespeople or roles. These are probably more, I should say, roles of salespeople within an organization. So on the left is a hunter. So a hunter salesperson would be primarily responsible for going out and getting new business. So lots of cold calling, getting new accounts. On the right hand side, you have a farmer salesperson. A farmer, other books will call it, or other people will call it a gatherer. But that type of salesperson is responsible for nurturing relationships. So, like tending to relationships, fostering the relationship, ensuring that the relationship is okay. So, in some firms or companies, you have two distinct roles. You may have new business development. So, if you have a new business development manager, that would be a hunter type role. If you have um, a relationship development manager, that would probably be a farmer role. So, different roles, and something you should ask if you're looking for a job is kind of not maybe in these terms, but how much is new business, how much is existing business, um, because it can be completely one or the other, or it might be a mix. And that mix can differ. It could be 50-50, or it could be slanted more one way or the other. Okay, so relationship selling. The heart of selling is really problem solving. And we'll learn later that this heart of selling is about needs discovery, which I'm uncovering needs. So I'm problem solving. I'm figuring out what they need so I can figure out a solution. And when I sell, my biggest thing that I'm going to emphasize is value for the customer. So these two slides are relationship builders and breakers. I'm going to focus on the relationship builders and briefly go through those. You can read through the relationship breakers, and when you get your textbook, you can read about it in more depth. Um, but I think if I go through the builders, you will be able to understand the breakers. Okay, so you're going to see these closely align with the modern salesperson. Customers should be treated like partners. You're providing solutions. Under promise, over deliver. You are going to regularly follow up with the customer, have very open lines of communication. It's a partnership, so it's a we can approach. And if something goes wrong, you're going to take responsibility. You're not going to say, oh, that was IT. Oh, that was whomever. For you, for the customer, you are the company, the entire company. So you have to take responsibility and then you have to figure out how to fix the problem. Okay, so this is very important just to differentiate why the traditional model of selling does not work versus the relationship model. So you may not know what all these different areas are in the relationship model. I'm going to walk you through them. So I'm going to start with that. And so the approach would be your introduction and building rapport, building trust. So normally what happens in that area, and all these areas we're going to talk about in depth, is I am finding out about the customer. I'm laying the foundation for a relationship. It's very important to start with trust. So that's going to be about 40% of the time spent together. Let's say we're together for an hour. I'm in an hour meeting. So 40% of that time. Then I'm going to identify the needs. So that's that strategic questioning where I'm going to ask the right question and then I'm not going to talk. I'm going to listen. That's going to be another 30%. So we're already at 70% of those 60 minutes. Once I get through strategic questioning and figuring out the customer, based on what I've learned, I'm going to present to them what I can provide them based off of the benefits that I can provide. So again, benefits equals solution to a problem. I have to know what the problem is or the need to provide what the solution or benefits are. So I'm going to tell them the solution. After that, so 20% doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm going to be very focused on what I'm presenting because I'm going to tailor it to what they need. After that, I will handle any objections and close. It's a very small percentage. Why? Because I've established trust. I've figured out what they needed. I've given a very strategic, tailored presentation based on that. So closing is going to be very easy. Or in theory, it should be. On the other hand, if I'm the traditional model, which is more of a selling orientation, one, I'm just going to tell them about myself. I'm going to make sure that they have the money, whatever, qualifying. Then I'm going to spend a good amount of time just telling them everything I think they need to know. I'm not asking about them. I've never asked them about themselves. I'm just telling them what I think they need to know. So then I get to closing. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, and I probably am not going to close. Why? Because I've never listened to them. I've never figured out what they need. They don't trust me. So that's why we're focusing on the relationship model. Can I move? Okay. Again, customers by solutions. If you remember, a benefit is solution to a problem. You can read this, and then the next video will pick up here.